Welcome into the Cheeley Law Review. My name is Ben Burnett. My guest today is Gabrielle Holland. Gabrielle, welcome in. Talk to me about growing up and your education.
Well, Ben, I am originally from Georgia, grew up in Kennesaw. I started at Georgia. I decided to transfer back home to be close to my family, and I finished at KSU, but I'm a lifelong dog. Be closer to mama, be closer to my grandparents. But like I said, I'm a lifelong dog and go to their football games every year. Met my husband at a football game going to the Auburn, Georgia game back in 2017. So I went to KSU, graduated with an education degree, taught elementary school for about 4 years.
What grades? Tell me about. Do you still love little ones?
I love little ones, and I started with the first graders. I taught second grade for 3 years.
Making a transition from being an early childhood educator and deciding to go to law school has to have an evaluation process. What was going through your mind?
Well, I always wanted to go to law school. So I knew going into undergrad when I started at KSU that I wanted to get my teaching degree, be a teacher, teach school for a few years, and then go into law. At the time, I was thinking maybe even education law when I first started out. I love helping people. And as a lawyer, you're able to have the power to help so many people. As a teacher, you help create prosperous, hopefully, citizens in the future, and you impact people that way. As an attorney, you're able to help people's lives.
So tell me this, if you're talking to the kids who are thinking about entering the legal field, what went into your decision-making process when you went, and what would you tell them that they need to be conscious of or cognizant of when looking around? You went to Loyola in New Orleans.
That's right.
What went into that decision, and why was that the right fit for you?
For me, it was very far from home. So like I said, when I was younger, I transferred home from undergrad to be closer to my family. I guess I'm a late bloomer. I was ready to spread my wings. And I wanted to go to a school that was faith-based, and that was important to me, or I hadn't had the opportunity yet to go to a Catholic school growing up, and I wanted to have that in my repertoire.
When you get out of law school, what are some of the early jobs or internships or clerkships that you had along the way that really brought you along to kind of define a little bit more about what you ultimately wanted to do in the profession?
So I clerked for some judges in the Metro Atlanta area, and in school I was also a student practitioner. So, and in that regard, I did family law, which really helped me and realized that I didn't want to do family law. As important as I think it is, it wasn't something for me. I didn't want to get jaded so much. That was something that I thought about. But at the same time, I really wanted to help women and children who are going through divorces or hard times. So that was something I gave a lot of thought to.
And creates perspective around.
It really does. And I really liked it, and I enjoyed it while I did it in school. But I really like being in the courtroom in a different way and helping people maybe be injured or in a different fashion.
When you look and ultimately coming to Cheeley Law Group, what makes this firm so special to you?
Everything. So the culture is unique. Everyone is here to help each other, and we work together in our cases. There's always an open door policy. Bob's is amazing, very supportive, very encouraging. I honestly couldn't have asked for a better position. Whatever happens behind closed doors internally is what's also transferred to our clients. So we help our clients, we nurture our clients, we guide them along the way, just as though our boss does with us. He nurtures us, he cares for us, brings us along the way through our cases.
Bob, somebody actually gave you a compliment when you listen to this. When you look at the types of cases that you work on today, what are 2 or 3 that really stand out to you where you know that if that individual or that family went somewhere else, they wouldn't have been helped to the extent that you guys were able to help them?
An example of that would be, I have some cases where we have people who've been severely injured in trucking wrecks, or maybe they've lost a spouse. And I have contact with those widows or those victims, essentially. And they contact me, they text me anytime they need to. I'm here for them whenever they need to talk. I'm not just their attorney, but I feel like I've gotten friends out of it in a way. Like, you've built a special friendship with the clients.
One of the themes that I hear from more or less everybody is that these people become a very important part of who I am. And while they had to hire a legal professional, I'm a lot of other things to that person. They're a part of my life. How do you maintain and grow your relationships beyond a courtroom? Most people evaluating a plaintiff's lawyer probably don't think of.
Well, I treat them as though they're part of my family. So I look at them I treat them like if they were a sister or a mother. I build on that. And I'm very honest with them, and I talk to them as though I would talk to my own family, and I treat them with the same respect. I let them know from the very beginning that here's my cell phone, call me anytime. They respect that. They call me when they need to. They call me when they need to talk about something, even if it's completely unrelated to the case at hand. They just need some guidance in whatever part of their life they're having a struggle with. Their conversation doesn't leave me.
Cheeley Law Group has between 40 and 50 active cases, which if you're in a mill, that is not a big number. And I think it is a tremendous credit to the attention and the selective process that you and Bob and the others give to your clients, friends. Talk about what you look for with respect to bringing people into the fold and evaluating cases and having that discussion and knowing that you're not the right fit for everybody and that you do things in a very detailed and niche way. Talk about the process of when somebody contacts and reaches out to you and the level and depth that you give that process.
Well, there's a big vetting process that goes into account when we're evaluating clients. Along with that is we have conversations with them. We get as much information, medical records, whatever they're able to get to us or get for us. And then we do our own due diligence depending on, it's case by case. And so if the case calls for it, we'll do our own due diligence beforehand, figure out what the case needs on our end, and we explain that along the way to the potential clients. Once we come to a decision about this client looks like a good case to take on for us, for our firm, we let them know. If it's something that maybe it's not in our realm of work, we let them know, tell them, explain it to them.
Provide good resources.
If it's maybe a case better suited for another firm, maybe it's not within our expertise, we recommend another attorney who would take that on. And then once we decide the case looks pretty good, we bring them in, have a face-to-face meeting, meet with them for however long, usually about 2 hours or so, and have an in-depth conversation with them. And sometimes they bring family members or friends and kind of just get a better idea of who they are as a person and what happened to them and how we can help them. From that moment, our relationship has already started to build. So we built the relationship when they first called us as a potential new client. We contacted them, we discussed with them, just to get an idea about their case, brought them in face to face, I had a meeting with them. So all along from the moment they reach out to us needing help, we're fostering that relationship.
Do you have a handful of clients that stand out over others where you know that it was something that only you specifically could have reached an outcome in the way that yourself and Cheeley Law Group pursued the case in order to provide value to your client?
Absolutely. We just do such a good job at giving all of ourselves to our clients, and we dedicate so much of our lives to our clients. And like you said, they become almost part of us. They become just this really unique relationship you build with your clients. And I feel like because we do have that sort of relationship with our clients, we're so vested in them and in our case, and we're able to get the most out of their case for them, whether it's through settlement or at trial.
One of the things that I think is so unique about all of you, I don't get the sense that you prefer going into a courtroom, but I get the sense your face just lit up. I get the sense from every single person who works here, when you get the opportunity and a client who's willing to walk in the courtroom, your best foot forward in that you guys are going to play to win the day. It's almost like your face lit up like it's like we get to go play today. It's like my son when he wakes up for a soccer game, he's like, it's Saturday. I get to go play. That tenacity and just the way all of you light up when you talk about having the opportunity and not being afraid of a courtroom. What does that mean from a comfort standpoint to your clients?
Well, I think they know that we're willing to do whatever it takes to fight for them and do right by them. And so we're not, like, there are some attorneys or there are some places where It's more geared towards settlement. Obviously, settlement is always an option if that's what the client wants to do. It's a client's choice.
Of course, I'm sure you settle a fair number of cases.
And so really, it is a gamble going to trial. But at the same time, client is well aware of that risk, and you explain it to them. They know the facts, and it's a gamble, but you have to do the fight, and it's worth the fight.
Well, Gabrielle, is there anything you would want us to know about Cheeley Law Group when selecting a plaintiff's lawyer that you think is important to somebody evaluating that process?
As any client, I think it's really important to do the research about the attorneys that you're looking at, to also see when you speak to them if you can have a relationship with them, if they are people that you can find yourself confiding in, because as a client, you are telling your most deepest, darkest secrets to your attorney. They need to know everything about you in order to be a zealous advocate for you. You have to know that going in, that you're going to be asked a lot of very personal questions. You have to know that you can trust these people that you're giving your deepest, darkest secrets to. At Cheeley Law Group, we respect that, and we don't overstep our bounds. And we know that when people are sharing the parts of their life with us, we respect their privacy, and our clients know that. And so it's important for people, like I said, when they're going in and interviewing attorneys, to think about, do these people respect me and my privacy?
Gabrielle Holland, thank you for joining this episode of the Cheeley Law Review. Have a great day, everybody.